Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maggie. Today we have my October budget recap. We're going to go through my budget. I'm going to calculate my savings rate. I'm going to give you an update on my different goals. I have a couple new trackers we're going to fill out, so it should be a fun update. Let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so the first thing I want to say is this is my budget sheet. We did my budget together. I will link that video. And before we dive into the actuals and my percentages more and really evaluate how the month went, we have to talk about the difference between my budgeted income and my actual income. So I budgeted $4,359.54. I actually brought home $5,122.04. So let's talk about where that money came from. So on the back of my budget, I just write down what I call my paycheck report, and I write down a few key details. So I write down the date, I write down how much, and then I put an ARP, which to me means either active or passive income, and then a little summary so I know what it was from. So the first two here are my salary for my full-time job. I'm paid twice a month. You'll notice both of these are from September. I am a month ahead, so the paychecks I'm getting in October, I'm using in November to December, things like that. So those are the first two. That's what I actually budget off of. So if I were to have nothing below here, that would be my budget. But I do have some passive income. So the first one is the Capital One interest that I earn from having different high yield savings accounts. Next is my Wings interest. Wings is my credit union that my mortgage is through. I do have an account there with not like a ton of money in it, but just one full month's worth of mortgage, and then I transfer that over every month. So I do earn a little bit of interest and they pay quarterly. Then I have my cashback card from Discover, $29.84. So my Discover card does cashback and it has a rolling 5% category. So everything is 1%, except each quarter there's a category that's 5%. So this was wrapping up the third quarter, which was restaurants. So very easy for me. We like to eat out on the weekends. So I just used my Discover card to get $29.84 in cash back. Work reimbursement, $15. We did a virtual team lunch and was able to, expense a $15 lunch. So that was cool. My friend and I went to dinner and I paid, so she just Venmos me, her portion of that. Betterment is, these are dividends that I earned from my two different accounts there. I have a Roth IRA and a taxable account. Then my boyfriend pays me out each month. I do all of the grocery shopping and like home shopping for the month. And then we split things. So if he buys groceries, I save the receipt and we work it out in the end. We also did a little trip. So we split some of the costs there. So yep, that was his total this month. And then my Capital One cashback card. So pretty good month overall. I do have my active and passive totals as well as the percentages. So almost 15% of my total income was passive this month, which I think is super great. Everyone's definitions is a little bit different, but for me, these are all passive items that we just covered there. So let's go ahead and flip back over. So here is the actual budget. I have already filled all this out, obviously, just to save some time. We have a lot to go through. So if you see a checkbox or check mark, I should say, it means it's the same as what I budgeted. So a lot of my bills are the same. Phone was down a little bit. If it's in green, it's a positive thing. So being under on a bill is great, but saving more, so having a higher for my savings is good. So that's how I do it, not necessarily higher or lower. My subscriptions was up a little bit. We did get Disney Plus for the month because I wanted to watch some Halloween movies on there. And that was nice, but we're kind of through watching everything on Disney Plus. We're going to cancel. Groceries up a bit. We tried, but I don't know. I'm sure you guys feel this too. Grocery prices are just crazy. So it is what it is. And this is with my boyfriend's contribution. So this is for the two of us. My gas was a little bit below. I did two, trips to the tank. I usually go around when my tank is about half full, and I try not to let it go less than half. So, it is what it is. Spending above my budget as well. $122 in this parenthesis is from something I ordered for my boyfriend. What did I order? Because he doesn't shop online. So, this is from, it was our Halloween costumes. That's what it was. So this is from me ordering our costumes, and this was his portion. So, a little bit over, but I don't beat myself up about it because I'm still really pleased with the other goals I have going. So overall, my percentage for my expenses section, 63.73% of my income went to my expense section, which I think is pretty good. My goal is to be 70% or less. That is a rule that I heard from Jordan Page, and once I started implementing it, it was pretty eye-opening that I can actually be, almost 7% lower. I mean, that's pretty cool. Funds, pretty much all of these are higher. They have some sort of interest on them. A couple of key standouts, incidentals a little bit lower. I had to use some of this money to cover the subscription cost. Like I said, I got Disney Plus kind of on a whim, so that's where that came from and how it adjusted. I also put a little bit more towards vacation. Again, I paid for most of the stuff on our vacation, so my boyfriend just kind of paid me back his half. And emergency fund, I had some extra money at the end of the month, so I decided to put it towards my emergency fund. That is my next big goal, so we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So all in all, the fund section was 21.95% of my budget. So these are all my different savings funds. Here I have investing, just over a little bit on everything. I am pretty much done with my HSA contribution catch-up, which I'm really pleased with, and 7.9% of my total income went to investments. And then I did have one cash flow expense. I decided to set up my estate plan, so I went with LegalZoom, and I did their living trust. It was very easy for me to fill out. It's pretty simple for me yet, but I feel so much better that I have that done. So 6.42% went to that. And yeah, pretty good month overall. I mean, over budget in a couple of categories, but feeling pretty good. So next, let's talk about these different funds more. All right, so I like to share with you kind of an update of my different sinking funds here. So I just put the name, if it's up or down, and then the total of where I'm at. So a few notes, annual is just kind of for those annual expenses. In October, I had my American Express annual fee due, so I paid that out of my annual fund. I knew it was coming, that's why I have this fund for things like that. Miko is down a little bit. I bought a couple more packages of food. His food is a little bit hard for me to find. My local grocery store doesn't sell it. I've talked about this for a couple months now. So when I am at a different store, or in the next largest town from where I live, I will pick up a bag or two just to make sure we have, one or two extra. I never want them to go hungry. Vacation, we did go to Arizona, my boyfriend and I, for a couple of days. And then we have another trip coming up in November, a bigger trip, which I'm really excited for. So I'm feeling good there. And then home, I did have to pick up some miscellaneous cleaning supplies. I had to clean out the oven and whatever else. So yeah, pretty quiet month for the different funds, and most of these are up, which I feel good about. All right, next I want to calculate my savings rate with you guys. So I calculate two different numbers. One includes my mortgage principal and one does not. And the reason is that some people kind of think that paying off any sort of mortgage, you're getting that equity back. I don't really know how I feel about it, so I just calculate both. And here's how I calculate it. I have different formulas and all these different things going on, but I'm going to walk you through it. So first, letter A is the difference basically in your cash. So I took the total of all of my different bank accounts from October minus what it was in September. And I have a positive number this month. Last month I had a negative number. So if you want to see how that works out, you can check out last month's video. But yeah, positive $598.59. So basically I added $598 to my accounts overall. That's how much I actually held onto. B is the investments. So I have all the different types and I have two columns, one for contribution, so how much I'm putting into them, and then the other one for earnings, so how much I'm getting in, interest and dividends and stuff like that. And I have all mine set up to automatically reinvest, so it's not like I'm cashing them out, but I do like to track them. So all of these different accounts and the contribution earnings total $891.76. I was not able to do even half of that much even a few months ago when I still was working on paying off my credit card debt. But then I switched jobs and I was able to speed up the process with my pay raise. So if you're not able to put that much, it's okay, it will come. This is kind of, new to me yet. C is the mortgage principal. So this is kind of the variable I was talking about earlier. So this past month I put $354.75 towards the balance of my mortgage to, lower it off. So then D is my total income. This is going to be my denominator for the math we're about to do. And it's the total income. So I have my take-home income, the 512204, which we already looked at. However, my 401k and my HSA, these two amounts are taken out pre-tax. So I need to add them back in because I counted them over here, but then I need to count them over here too. So my percentage is actually correct. So that's how I got this 560976 number here. So let me grab my phone for a calculator. It's charging real quick and we'll do the math together. Okay, you guys, so we're gonna do the mortgage first. So I already have the numbers, we just have to add them together. So A, which is the difference of actual like cash and funds, so 598.59, plus B is the investments, 891.76, plus C is that mortgage principal, 354.75, so 1845.10. Then I need to divide that by my total income. And then I multiply it by 100 to get a percentage. So 32.89%. And we're going to do the same thing over here without including the mortgage. So it's just A plus B plus 891.76. Divided by 5609.76 times 100, 26.56%. So really good percentages here, 32% and 26%. I'm really pleased with that. That's amazing. All right, so that brings us to our October overview. So this is kind of just like the overview sheet when I have this in my binder. This is the first sheet I see for October. So up here I have the total income, my percent passive and active, and I also put, oh, I guess I didn't finish color coordinating these, but I will, different percentages from my budget itself. Here's my savings rate. So we just calculated these together. I also calculate my year to date. So I'm at 16.49% and 10.11%. My goal is 15 and 10%. So I feel great. I'm right on track. Total debt, 0. I used to track this, but I am now consumer debt free, which is, really awesome. Like I say, every month it's just amazing how much I can save and invest, and I never thought the day would come. Emergency fund, 34.67% of the way to what I consider fully funded, which for me is going to be 3 months plus $1,000. We're going to start a tracker for this today, so stay tuned in a little bit. We're going to pull that out. Net worth change, I don't really share my actual net worth, but I do like to share the change. So from last month to this month, I gained 1.28%, which feels great. Here's my mortgage balance, $146,394.96. Hoping to get down to $145 by the end of the year. That'd be cool. My percent paid off, so I paid 8.5% of my mortgage off, which is nothing. And then I own 26.8% of my home. I just use my purchase price to calculate this, and it does include then my equity. All right, so let's go ahead and take a peek at some of the new trackers I have and some coloring. Okay, so the first tracker here is my amortization schedule. So how this works is I printed it off. I will leave a link for this down below, but it prints off where you were scheduled to be for your different payments, and the interest and your total balance. I pay at least one extra payment a year. I do that by taking what one payment is and I divide it by 12, and I add that to my normal principal mortgage payment every month. So for me, 1/12 is $62.69 extra a month, and it's really been fun for me to snowball over time. So I did already write in my numbers. I was scheduled to pay $484 in interest. I only paid $473, so I officially am, $10 less every month, which feels great. I was scheduled only to pay $268 towards the actual balance of my loan, but I paid $354.75, so that feels good. Here's the balance I was supposed to be at, $149,685, but I'm actually at $146,394. So awesome feeling. What I have yet to do with you guys is highlight these. So as I surpass, as my actual balance surpasses different milestones here, I like to mark them off. So I'm at $146,394. which is definitely lower than 146,677. So let's highlight this one. And 146,394 is also lower than 146,398. So this is an exciting month where I get to highlight two. Sometimes it's just the one, but when you get to do two, that's pretty cool. And what this allows me to do then is that I can count. So I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm a full year ahead on my mortgage now. How cool is that? So I shaved, I have a 30-year loan. I already shaved a year off, plus what I've already been paying. So really fun to see this. I'm looking forward to seeing the snowball more over time. This is a new worksheet for me. I just printed it off from Canva. But now that I am credit card debt free and I can focus more of my money into investments, I want to start making more savings and retirement goals. So I call this Margaret's Money. My real name is Margaret, but I go by Maggie. And I learned this from a gal on Instagram, Alicia. She posts, personal finance stuff, and she was saying that it really helped her save more for retirement when she gave her future self a name and actually thought about her future self as a person. And so I'm calling my future retirement age self Margaret, because maybe I'll grow into that name by then. So yeah, that's kind of the story behind this. My goal for the year, I'm trying to save $6,000 in retirement accounts. Now this is just the contributions, not the earnings. And so what I did is I went through and filled out all the different months so far. This is a new tracker, but I got us caught up. And then at the bottom, I have bars to color in, which is kind of fun. So I already did my summary for October. I put $100 in my Roth IRA, $187.50 in my 401k, and then $576.08 into my HSA. I know that this is a healthcare savings account, but it also can turn into a retirement account once you are retirement age. So I do include that. So total this month, $863.58 towards retirement, which feels so good. And my subtotal now, $4,509.13 with just under $1,500 to go. So we're going to color in for October on my chart. So I'm at 4509. So basically just like right here. We'll do that. So I'm going to color here. I'm going to color here. Cool. How fun is that? I kind of like when other people do their coloring and everything. It's fun for these videos, so I wanted to add something in. So I plan to do this tracker all throughout next year, and I'll have a different goal because I'll have the rest of the year to really work towards it. But yeah, I hope you guys like this one. But I would love to know what your retirement goals are for the year, and maybe if you don't have any for this year, you can think of some for next year. Okay, apologies, I got interrupted, so we'll just start over with this piece. This is my new emergency fund savings tracker, and I made this on Canva. I am tracking this in percentage, so I do have a number in mind. I know what my goal is. However, I'm not really sharing that because everybody has a different amount that is going to be their emergency fund. For me, I'm doing 3 months of bare bone expenses plus $1,000, and I share with you how my progress is going by percentage. So each of these like circles with the dollar is going to represent 5%, and on the back I have our tracker will be keeping track of all this. So October at the end of the month is 34.67% of the way there. So we're going to color in quite a few of these together. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. This would be 35. So almost all the way filled in. I'm going to go like here. That's kind of crooked, but we're not perfect here. And so I'm going to speed this up as I color in all of these. But I thought this would be a fun way to kind of track my progress together. So let's go ahead and color some in. Okay, you guys, so not the prettiest coloring job, but you know, we did it. So really fun to track this way. I'm looking forward to coloring more in. And let's go back to my overview sheet to wrap up with some reflections and goals. Okay, so some reflections from the month of October. First of all, we went to Arizona and the vacation was very much below budget. We stayed with family. We had free flights with miles and stuff. And so it really was a pretty cheap trip, which was really kind of fun to be able to spend some time in the warmth without spending a lot of money. I was also able to put some extra money to my emergency fund like we talked about. And now that that's my newest priority, I'm going to be throwing even more kind of extra money towards it each month. My HSA kind of max out progress is pretty much complete. I have a plan for the rest of the year. You know, it's just a few dollars left, but I want to see how my contributions from my paycheck kind of flush out. But that's nice to be able to check that off. And we attended a Halloween party and it was fun. We did costumes this year. We were a king and a queen and it was just a really great time. So I wanted to throw that in there because we decided to celebrate Halloween and that was nice. A few kind of like cons or things that could have gone better. Expenses was 63%. My goal from September was 60%, but honestly, 63 is really good still. So I had to put it as a con, but it's still pretty good. And then also my spending in groceries are over budget. Like I said before, these don't bother me too much. The spending, of course, would always be great to rein in more, but it is going to be a little bit varied when I, you know, order things for my boyfriend and then he pays me back. That's just where I track it in my budget. So it is what it is. November goals. I need to find a notary to finish my living trust paperwork. So I'm sure that there'll be some sort of cost with that. I don't know. I still have to call around and find someone. I also am going to buy my 2022 planner. I typically have been buying my planner during the Black Friday or Cyber Monday sales. There's usually some sort of percentage off on the Golden Coil website, which is the brand I use. So I will be cash flowing that this month. I'd like my expense section to be 65% or less of my total income. I would love to hit 40% in my emergency fund and really like push on that for the end of the year. Any extra money I want to funnel that way. That's kind of like the number one priority. I remember when I was paying off my credit card debt, anytime I had an extra dollar, I would put it towards. So I kind of want to get back in that mode of like really being aware of where any extra money goes. And then number 5, which is consistent, is to stay debt-free. So far, I haven't gone back into credit card debt, but I know it's something that, you know, you have to kind of be on top of and constantly thinking about to make sure that you're achieving that goal, because it is a choice in my circumstance. With credit card, I was just buying things because I wanted them and I wasn't being patient and saving for them, or, you know, really thinking, do I need this? So yeah, pretty happy with the month overall. And that is going to be it for me today. So we did my budget. We did paycheck overview. We did a few coloring sheets. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know any feedback or how your month went. I'd love to know overall what was something that was a thumbs up for you that happened in October. And maybe we can connect about that down below in the comments section. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you've made it to the end of this video, good for you. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.